from the gun and an empty backfield. He throws, and that is picked off in the air. It was intended for number 83, wide receiver Clint Shipp, but Shipp did not break back to the football. But I'll tell you who did. Kyle Grace, the same man who lit up the punter on 4th down moments ago. So Grace makes another big play.
Yeah, they get the ball again right inside the 20. This is not a good start for Gallatin.
As always, we'll pick a player of the game at the end of this, courtesy of Play On, and Kyle Grace has got to be an early thought.
He's the clubhouse leader. Apologize for all the static in y'all's broadcast tonight. We can't figure out what that is yet.
We're working on it.
We have our best people on it.
Toss and Contrez McCathern, first time he's carried tonight, and he's going to run that one out of bounds, it looks like. May not have actually gotten to the sidelines. Looks like we got a little bit of that static out right there. So McCathern gets 8 on 1st down. So still way early in this game, but Mount Juliet, 2 big plays to set their offense up in the best possible position.
Mount Juliet comes into the game ranked 5th in the mid-state in some of the polls, and Gallatin's struggling a little bit. This is not the way they want to start.
That's McCathern bouncing off tackles, just going through guys. Finds his way through the gauntlet of green, and 6 more points for Mount Juliet. Contrez McCathern, 5'9" senior, just battled his way into the end zone there, Mike.
Yeah, he got behind a couple of those big linemen, and they didn't stop the blocks, and he didn't stop running.
And Jenkins is good on the extra point. So 6:37 to play here in the first. 14-0. And again, last year's game was 52-20 Mount Juliet. And you got to think that a fairly struggling Green Wave team, at least at this point in the season, did not need a poor start. But that's what they're going to have to deal with and try to fight back from as Morgan Campbell hits back onto the field momentarily.
I'm sure they want to get Campbell some confidence back after that throw. It wasn't the best throw. He didn't see the defender, obviously. But they got to do something with this possession, I would think, to get back in the game. They don't have to score, but maybe let's get it out to midfield at least. Eat some clock.
So really nothing of note through the air.
Now this time it looks like Mount Juliet, they line up in a typical standard formation to kick off. And we'll see if they get to that thing where they line up in the middle. Maybe to do a trick play at some point, either tonight or through the rest of the year.
So Jenkins to kick. Has not been a return yet. They've both been through the end zone. This one's high. This one is deep, but not quite deep enough. It's going to be fielded on the 1-yard line. That is number 12, Marcus Williams. And Williams has a little bit of ground. Good block right there by number 34, Eric DeBow. Dangerously close to a block in the back, but he was able to get him from the side to spring his guy for a couple of extra yards. This drive will begin on the 24-yard line.
Okay, so that's their best field position to start with. They've had the 20, the 20, now the 24. And we'll see if they can string some first downs together and get something going.
So we're going to see Campbell under center. Haven't seen that as much as of yet tonight. And Campbell's going to keep it simple. And he hands off to Caleb Robb. Clemens on the stop, 3 yards on the gain. Ball on 26. Campbell's got Robb next to him in the shotgun. 2 receivers out wide to the right. This time had to decide on the pitch, and it's Caleb Robb, and he gets jacked up himself. That's Cody Carr, and give Robb credit for holding on to the football, because at one point it looked like he was about to cough it up.
I don't know if that was a pass or a pitch or what.
It was an option pitch to the left. And Campbell maybe should have kept that football. So a loss of 5, which negates Caleb Robb's 2 carries for 5 before that. So he's back to 0.
Now we got 3rd and long again.
3rd and 13 from the 21. 2 backs next to Campbell. Campbell's going to throw. He's going to throw and that ball's picked off in the air. That was a high arcing rainbow of a throw. He had a man out there, but Chase Mang had 6 seconds to watch the ball in the air before it came down into his arms, and he was able to outleap the receiver to make the grab for Mount Juliet.
Yeah, he just kind of threw it up for grabs there, hoping his guy would make the play, but he didn't. So that's pretty much 3 turnovers and 3 possessions.
And interceptions on the last 2. 5:10 to play, first quarter, 14-0. And the Golden Bears back on offense. And off the 5-step drop, he's going to throw, and he had a man, and he overthrows him by about 2 steps. Jalen Graham got open.
I like it. It's so often you see that after a turnover, you take a shot deep. Just overthrew him, had a man.
Foot on the throat kind of play right there.
Exactly.
Skylar Bailey on the coverage, and he did a good job until the last 5 yards, and then Graham just blew past him, but the ball was about 3 yards too deep. So 2nd and 10, just about midfield. Ball still on the Mount Juliet side of the ball, but only by 1 yard. Here's Nolan Chobe. Hands off. And that's McCatherine again, who scored a touchdown on the last drive, and he's going to gain 4.
A pretty big stop here for Gallatin. I don't know if Mount Juliet would go for it or not, but
feels like if you got a chance, you got Jalen Graham out here to maybe try and throw deep again. But they're not. They're gonna keep it simple and go on this kind of end around over onto the left side.
There's a flag down. I think this could be coming back.
Yeah, that could be a hold. That was Ben Cheatham who got close to the marker. I'm not sure he would have made it anyway. Looked like he was about a yard short.
I think it's close enough. They're going to take the penalty. They would go for it there on 4th down.
Yeah, I think he would definitely take the penalty. So, yes, indeed, a hold on Mount Juliet. That's going to push them back 10.
Sorry about the camera work here, guys.
Mike, it's better than nothing, bud.
Okay, yeah.
Getting it going.
I could draw you a picture, then that'd be real sad.
That's the official call of the hold. Ball now placed on the 47, and it'll be 3rd and 12.
I understand Coach Perry's wife is in South Carolina watching us tonight with some new grandbabies. So shout out to her and her family.
And she's watching pretty good results so far.
Oh, good hard run. Oh!
And that is McCatherine, and he found a hole, got 1 block, and he was an ankle tackle away from 6 more.
He was not going to be denied there. That was all him once he got to the middle. Nice hard run. I like to see hard runners.
23 yards for McCatherine right there.
And that was third and long. They ran it right up the middle.
And that's a backbreaker for a team down 14-0 in that situation. You have to find a way to get that stop, so that's going to be a little demoralizing for the defense. Here's Chobe. Still got the ball, and he's got 2 guys on him, and he is down. The first guy that got to him, Corey DeBow. DeBow with a big-time sack, and Chobe just kind of, I think, held onto the ball, Mike, a hair too long right there.
Yeah, he was looking downfield and couldn't find his man, and I don't think he expected the pressure he got, and before he knew it, he was on the ground.
It's a loss of 11. Or 12 officially. And he finds, somehow he found some kind of lane, but give Gallatin credit for cutting it off before it became too much of a problem. That was Austin Chaplin who scored the first touchdown of the game.
That's kind of a fake toss and an inside reverse back to 9, and those are hard to defend. Gallatin did a really good job of containing that.
So 3rd and 15 here. Couldn't stop 3rd and 12. Let's see if they can get this one. Chalbay took a few steps to his right and throws deep, and Darian Banks had one arm on it, couldn't corral it, but good coverage by Banks. Not able to pick it off, but if he did pick it off, he would have been on the 1 yard line or so.
May have been better off.
Yeah.
Now they're it's 4th and long from the 35, kind of a no man's land deal. So they're probably going to go for this.
Maybe if you point, you probably get 15 yards out of it.
Maybe a quick kick. Maybe.
So the ball on the 35, 1:59 to play here in the first quarter from Calvin Short Field in Gallatin. And it's going to be McCathern, and I don't know if they felt like that was going to get him the first down or not, but McCathern stopped well short, obviously. So Gallatin's going to take over at the 30 after a 5-yard carry for McCathern on 4th and 15.
All right, so Gallatin got a little break there. Let's see if they can capitalize. Put some plays together. Just make one play after another.
Can't get 14 points in one play, right, Mike?
Not in this league.
No. Maybe in the NFL the last 3 weeks. Never know.
You never know.
Here we go from under center. I believe that's DeBow. And whoa, that was a little extracurricular, and the official believes it and throws the Gallatin yellow flag. On the coverage, Daniel Aleo, number 14, and DeAndre Nealis, number 10. And I think it was Nealis who just kept pushing after the whistle and eventually threw DeBow down.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate there. He had him in the grasp, and he should have let up, but he didn't. And there's the call.
So, we'll march this from 15 yards. So, Mike, if you're Gallatin, you got to find a way to do something here. This is good field position and out of the shadow of your end zone for the first time tonight. So, you definitely want to make something happen here.
Yeah, let's see that they can, like I said, put some plays together. Give Campbell some confidence.
Here's Campbell under center. 2 backs behind him, and he's going to give it. Nope, he kept it this time. Off the fake, and he gives it to Robb. And Robb rumbles his way, holds on, gets a few extra yards, drags Chase Mang, who had him by the ankles, for a couple of extra yards. That'll be another first down. And a nice play right there.
Fooled me on that play action. Well done. I missed the throw. Got the catch.
Pitch back to DeBow, and DeBow gets thrown down, but not before getting the ball around the 32. A good solid 4 or 5 yards on first down for DeBow. Chris Harper, the man who threw him down. More like a German suplex.
It was a nice cutback, though, by DeBow. He got into the second level. It's what you want to do.
So 5 for DeBow, 2nd and 5 for Gallatin. Number 5 under center. And Campbell hands it to Robb, and Robb, that's the second time we've seen in 3 plays. Caleb Robb says no to the first 2 or 3 tacklers and just continues to churn and gain more yards.
Counting down the end of the first quarter here. I don't know if we'll get another playoff or not.
Yeah, 12 seconds. Doesn't look like they're in any hurry, and Campbell's on the sidelines. We're over here by the sidelines, I should say, talking to Mark Williams. And that's it. We'll take a quick break here. 14-0 after 12 minutes. Still 36 minutes to play here. PlayOnSports.com and TSSAANetwork.com.
Access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Make sure you keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports. We are PlayOnSports.com. The first play of the second quarter.
Now Campbell faked it up the middle and broke it out to the side, but he looked like he went down. I don't know if he's nursing, thinking about his shoulder injury or what, but he went down without contact there.
Well, he's going to stay in the game.
Yeah, something to watch, though, because that's twice he's gone down without getting hit. Maybe they just painted the lines too thick tonight. I don't know.
It's 2nd and 6, and that's DeBow. Danced a little bit and tried to get a little bit left and wasn't able to get too much out of it.
All right, we got 3rd and 3 or 4.
3rd and 4.
4. Touchdown would really be good here. They might even go for it on 4th down if they don't get it here. I don't know. Apologize for the static, y'all.
From the gun, Caleb Robb to his left. He's going to roll to his left. It's Campbell, and Campbell throws, and that was a really good attempt by Darian Banks. Tried to leap over the corner to make the play. Wasn't able to corral the football. And
we'll see what Coach Williams wants to do here on 4th down.
But there might have been a penalty.
Yeah, they're talking about something. It's ineligible man downfield.
Yep. So we'll see if Gallatin accepts that or not, or if they have a choice.
And it is declined. It's going to bring it 4th down.
They'll decline it. 4th and 4 then. Skylar Bailey comes onto the field. The wideout, and Morgan Campbell stays in the game. So down 14-0 at home on senior night. Green Wave wants 6. From the gun, everybody split out. He sent Skylar in motion, but he's still got the ball, and he is being chased from 2 directions and throws. What a play right there. Eric DeBow, 18-yard touchdown catch, but you've got to give Morgan Campbell a lot of credit as well as his offensive line. Gave him enough time to make that rollout to the left. Had to be a perfect throw, and it was placed exactly where it needed to be.
Well done. I didn't even know who he was throwing it to. The receiver never gave up on the route, and the quarterback never gave up on his receiver.
So, incredible catch, really good throw.
Why is the ball way back here? What are they doing? There's a penalty of some sort.
But there is another penalty.
Maybe too much celebration. I don't know.
Another ineligible receiver penalty. That's 2 now. And that is unbelievable.
That's terrible. That's a shame.
Particularly when you assume that Eric DeBow, of course, was eligible and caught the touchdown pass in the end zone.
Yeah, I'm about to get an explanation of that.
Well, they're going to go for it again. 4th and 9. Had to move it 5 yards back. Again, everybody out wide, and it's just Campbell from the gun. Campbell this time doesn't wait, throws, and not sure what he expected to have on that play. DeBow never even turned around, clearly didn't think the ball was coming to him. And it looks like Darian Banks down in the right corner of the end zone did think that the ball was supposed to come to him. So in any event, it's going to be 1st and 10, Mount Juliet, and that is a tough sequence to take if you're a Gallatin Green Wave football fan.
Yeah, that's a shame. They had what they thought was a touchdown and taken off the board after a good possession. But they can step up, get a stop here, and get right back in it.
So, Chobe's got one man behind him. And that one man now has the football, and that is McCathern. Gets it out over the 25 to probably around the 27. Probably a gain of about 4 on the play. So 47 yards on 6 carries for McCathern and a touchdown so far tonight.
Pretty solid.
Can't ask for too much more than that in a quarter and a quarter and a quarter.
Quarter and a tick.
Yeah. So hand this one off, and that's McCathern again, and McCathern gets it out over the 32 to about the 33-yard line. That's going to move the sticks just barely. I think it was actually a 6-yard gain, but that'll be enough to move it.
I think this is what Mount Juliet would love to do all night long, just run it, run it, run it.
And McCathern looks like he's a good back to have. 225, 5'9", runs low to the ground and runs through tacklers directly up the middle.
Runs hard, runs downhill, like they say.
Chobe this time he's going to pitch it to McCathern. McCathern made a good move to the right, and he stays on his feet. And he is not going to get all the way, but he gets a long way. Skylar Bailey had to fight off a blocker for about 5 yards, but did not give up. And that might have been what slowed McCathern down enough for the rest of the Green Wave to get there to make a stop.
Run inside, then they bounce it outside, and he showed good speed there to get to the edge. And again, he runs so hard, he's hard to tackle.
Not sure exactly how long that gain was, but 30 plus. Say 36 on that carry, and that's McCathern again. Mays slows him down that time. After again another, say, 3-yard pickup.
You're not going to tackle him. I don't think the first guy that's hit him has tackled him yet. You have to hit him, wrap him up. He keeps his legs running, his legs going. Spinning, tough. Like a little video game run there, a little B button on the spin action.
Caleb Hopkins was the only man split out wide on that play, and he was out to the right. And again, more running. That time, it was Ben Cheatham. Who gets 2. .7:30 and playing here in the second quarter. 3rd down and 3. for Chobe and the offense. Pitch again. This time it's McCathern. McCathern just will find a way to get past that first tackler every time. He's going to get corralled this time. That's going to be a loss.
Well, that was some really good penetration there that time by the Gallatin Greenway front. He had to keep going more and more outside, and eventually the pursuit got him. So they're going to send the field goal unit on here.
So loss of 2, 4th and 5, 14-point advantage right now for Mount Juliet, and they're going to try to bump it 3 more. Here's Jenkins. Good hold. That thing was veering a little bit left, and it veered too far left. No good. Hold was good. Snap was good. Kick was a little bit wide.
Well, so Gallatin holds. So that's
which you got to think is a good thing considering what McCathern was doing to them on the ground all the way up the field for the last 6 minutes.
Now, Gallatin, if they can get something on the board here and only be down 7, I think they'd be in good shape, or at least they'd feel good about themselves. Last week against Brentwood, they stayed with Brentwood for the first half and ran out of gas in the second.
So Campbell was dealing with a 5-man front right there, hands it to Caleb Robb, and Robb gets it out to 23, maybe the 24-yard line. Probably a gain of 4. 3 at the absolute worst. They're going to give him 5 as the nose of the football is just shy of the 25. Again, quick moving first half here. Only 5.5 really to play after this play, and that's Robb again. Taken down by a fleet of tacklers. Adam Gilg was the man that got him down. After a 3-yard gain.
The Gallatin players, the offensive line is not quite able to sustain the blocks long enough to spring him.
Campbell this time is going to have Robb next to him. Going to send him a little bit further off to the right, and he's got DeBow behind him. It's up to him. He's going to go in the end around and hand it backwards to Darian Banks, and it looked like Banks was about to make something happen right up until he was on the ground. Mang makes a big-time tackle right there.
Yeah, Chase Mang did a great job on the corner, staying at home like you're supposed to, and he was ready for him. Brings it 4th and, well, they're marking it 4th and 2.
So no gain.
I wouldn't expect any fanciness here, any trickery. Punt it, take your chances. The defense is playing better.
Pretty good punt. Not that great hang time, but got pretty good distance on it. It's going to be fielded at the 40. And the ball is out, but I'm pretty sure he was down at about the 46-yard line. Mount Juliet gets the ball here in pretty good field position, and I'm sure they want another touchdown before the end of the half. 4 minutes to go before halftime. I'd expect more run. Yep. Correct again. McCathern tripped up around the 47 and falls forward to the 45.
Nice first down pickup. They'll do that all night long and be very happy with it. You get 8 yards on a first down carry.
Gain of 8 for McCathern. who's now over 100 yards on the game. On that carry, as a matter of fact. And here he is again, and he's going to add to that and get across the first down marker and get about a yard and a half more before he's taken down at the 41.
Well, right now the offensive line for Mount Juliet's having their way with Gallatin's line. They're much bigger and just overpowering them at this point.
So we've seen no timeouts called. Clock has run basically continuously for these two quarters. Not a whole lot of throwing either, so this could be a quick night. This time, Caleb Hopkins, kind of out of nowhere, was just all of a sudden on his feet with the football, and
we took it right up the middle and bounced right and found an opening to the outside.
He did. He found a nice hole, Mike, and gets the ball to the 26.
Gallatin's having trouble figuring out who's in the game at this point. They're trying to keep their linemen as fresh as they can. They got who they want in there now.
This time they're going to throw, and he's got a man and can't hold it. It was Austin Chaplin, and he had it in his arms, and on the way down, he just could not hold on all the way through the football motion. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it was a nice throw, and you had to maybe expect a little play action was coming after the constant diet of running.
And he had a step to the inside, Mike, just not able to get it. It may have been just about a half yard too far in front of him.
It's a nice throw.
So, Chauvet's got 2 men out to his left. But he's going to hand it again to Hopkins, and Hopkins takes a pretty good shot from Banks.
The Mount Juliet coach told us before the game that number 7 for Gallatin would be the guy to watch on defense, and he's made some plays.
He was also almost a touchdown recipient earlier.
Yeah.
So a gain of 9 before Banks stopped him. And he stays in the backfield. This time they're going to go the other side. First man, and there's a flag down, and that's going to be a hold, I believe. That was Austin Chaplin, who looked like he had a real easy time getting to the end zone, and the reason why is because of a hold well back here behind the line of scrimmage, I believe. And we've heard the Gallatin fans underneath us a few times think that there have been some holds on a couple of these big runs for Mount Juliet. That's the first one that gets called, at least on this drive. And, yep, hold.
So that says it's back 3rd and like 17 they're going to call it. Yeah, sometimes there's a reason why the runner gets so wide open.
Well, that reason was obvious. The first man was held. Could not get around to get to Chapel. So the ball on the 32, 3rd and 17, 1:32 to play in the first half. And finally, we get a timeout. First timeout called in this game. 92 seconds to play here in the first half. Well, do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? If so, and we know you do, tell your school to sign up for the Play On Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, it's real simple, folks. PlayOnSports.com/SBP. PlayOnSports.com, not only your destination for Friday night football action, but also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com, high school sports lives here.
Well said, Jason.
Thank you. Well shot there, Mike.
Well, you know what? I'm here on Friday night. This is a spectacular atmosphere. It's a beautiful night, beautiful facility, and I don't know if you all know my background, but I go to a lot of high school, pro, college sports, and there's no place I'd rather be than on a Friday night at a high school football game.
You know, there's a lot of people that go to all levels, and all of them say that. There's just something about the atmosphere and just the hunger in all these kids. With all their parents and friends watching, it's just something you can't experience on higher levels. Throw this time, and I can't believe he made that catch.
Nice catch.
I have no idea how Caleb Hopkins made that catch. There were two Gallatin players that should have, honestly, probably picked that pass off. But Chobe finds a way to thread the needle.
I thought it was going to be picked. Now it's going to bring up 4th and 4. After missing that last field goal, we'll see what they do here. I'd expect a running play. That's just me.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good call. And McCathern is in the backfield. So unless he's a decoy and we're looking to Graham on the right. And actually he was a decoy, but he was a decoy for his own guy. And it looked like there may have been another hold there. But it doesn't matter as Hopkins is not able to get to the sticks.
So Gallatin's defense comes up big again.
So Gallatin's gotten a couple of stops here.
And, y'all, it's only 14-0.
Certainly within striking distance.
And you know what? When they say stranger things have happened, well, I saw it happen at LP Field last week. I don't know if it's going to be stranger than that. But
I don't think you're ever going to see anything stranger than that.
But I'd expect Gallatin to just run a couple plays and go into halftime down 14-0 and be pretty satisfied to only be down 14-0.
So we'll see if they try to risk it. I think you're probably right. They are going to send two wideouts out to the right. Darian Banks far out wide. They are going to throw, and it is Banks. And Banks makes the catch at the 31 and trucks himself out of bounds at the 35. Gain of 15. And the biggest pass play of the night for Gallatin.
And like I said, they'll probably do a 15-yard out. Gallatin's showing some spunk and emotion now.
From the gun, and Banks this time split out to the left. And another throw. And Marcus Williams had it, but it wasn't alligator arms. He just knew he was going to get hit, and it was jarred before he was able to get the football into his arms. He wasn't afraid. He just couldn't make the play. I think maybe his hands got stung a bit, so he's going to head to the sidelines, calls himself out.
Yeah, well, they might go back to that again because he wants that ball again, I'm sure. Give him another chance.
Split out wide left. Clint Shipp. They're going to throw to the right again. And that was an interesting situation there because Banks thought it was going to him, but the ball honestly was probably closer to Jordan Harper, number 20. 20 ticks on the clock.
Now, it looks like Gallatin has 3 timeouts left, and Mount Juliet 2. Neither one of them have seemed to be interested in using them. There's one. Like I said, Gallatin's taking a timeout.
So Gallatin's going to decide if they feel like they have a matchup that they can exploit to get big yardage. When you're down 14-0 and you're a team under 500 trying to make something happen, anything could spark you. And this is the kind of moment where a struggling team can become an affluent team.
Yeah, Coach Williams is in his first year coaching here, and they are really trying to get back to the success they had, in the 80s and 90s. Gallatin has been to the state championship game 6 times and actually won 3 times, 1978, 89, and 92.
So were you at all those games, Mike?
Was I at all those games? Actually, no.
Not all of them, huh?
No. Back then I was into a lot of different things and wasn't taking pictures of football games. Now, Mount Juliet last year got knocked off in the semifinals by Whitehaven, the eventual runners-up. And they're coming off a 13-1 season, their best record ever, and they look to be on track to make a deep run in the playoffs again.
Only 1 loss this season as well, and that was last week at Beach. So he keeps it, and he's going to run out of bounds around the 38. So not much there. Smarter than trying to take a risk if there wasn't a receiver open downfield, and I can guarantee you there wasn't. They were blanketed all the way across.
Now this brings up a situation now. It's 4th and long. They're going to have to punt.
You don't get it. You kind of have them really close to being in field goal position.
This is the type of situation that can the whole game can swing on if a turnover happens.
Remember the first punt of the game.
Yeah.
Well, the first almost punt of the game. And there's Kyle Grace right here, second from the left on the line. And he comes untouched again, and he had that thing blocked again, but he somehow the punt gets away. Grace had that thing dead to rights again.
A penalty of some sort there, probably against Mount Juliet on the return.
Michael Lewis on the return, barring the penalty, ball on the 39. Maybe a block.
They're talking to the Gallatin captains.
Penalty is against the Bears.
Jason, what smells so good?
I don't know. There's some solid prep football concessions going on around this place.
Well, we're about 2 seconds from having some, buddy.
Yeah, I'm excited about the prospect.
Well, let's see if they take a shot here or just run one up the middle, which could be a shot in itself.
I think you probably hand this to McCathern, and if he gets it, he gets it. If not, 14-0 halftime score. But we'll see after the 10 yards mark back on the penalty. Yep, McCathern stays in, but to block. They're going to hand it to Austin Chaplin, who gets a first down on a pretty good run, but the whole point there was to make sure he didn't get into the end zone, and they successfully pulled that one off. So 000 on the Calvin Short Field clock to our left means it's halftime. The visiting team, the 4-1 Mount Juliet Bears, lead this puppy 14-0. But that's still well within striking distance. We'll see what Gallatin's got cooked up in the second half. But this game could be a heck of a lot worse.
Yeah, 14-0 is, of course you want to be closer than that, but it's still, at the same time, it's not a blowout where many people thought it would be.
Could easily have been 14-7 as well. That touchdown
That's
called
right.
back on the ineligible receiver penalty. That might be the biggest situation that Gallatin's faced outside of the block punt from Kyle Grace early.
That's right. We'll see if the Gallatin can get something together at halftime. Last week, like I said, they were down only a touchdown to Brentwood, but ran out of gas in the second half. And we'll see if their depth can do a little bit better this week.
Well, a half of football was played in less than an hour. And we're going to take a break, collect ourselves, and get ready for the second half. 14-0, Mount Juliet leads here on Friday Night Football at your home and your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot. We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Welcome back. Second half of action. Second half of action about to commence here. As usual, high school halftimes get extended just a bit. Catch some of the area viewers up on some of the other scores around the district. Station Camp 34-3 at the half against Lebanon. Brentwood 14, Centennial 7 early in the second quarter. Ravenwood is leading Franklin 7-0 in a defensive struggle. Beach and Hendersonville 14 all at the half. White House 14, Good Pasture nothing after one. Wilson Central and Portland tied at 14. That game being played at Wilson Central. So 14-0 here. Mount Juliet to receive. And they're going to try the same kind of kick that they tried to lead off the game. Hayden Puryear will kick it off. Now they're going to send him back. Almost the entire team off to the right, so they may be trying to go onside or maybe just try to throw it over the head and see what happens. They're just all over the place here. He's going to directionally kick this thing to the right. It's And let me tell you what. Kyle Mailer, the running back, makes a horrible decision to catch the ball before it goes out of bounds off that kick. And waiting for him was Darian Banks. And folks, that was a decleat job. And that, again, sometimes it just takes a spark, and there's definitely a spark now in this crowd. That was an unbelievable hit. And that's going to send us to the beginning of the second half. And referees blow the whistle. Get you caught up on some of the halftime stats. MacArthur, 13 carries, 119 yards for Mount Juliet. Chaplin, 4 carries for 29 yards. Nolan Chalbay is 1 for 4 through the air, 13 yards. But really probably the biggest plays in this game outside of MacArthur's runs have been on defense. Kyle Grace blocked the first punt, picked off the first pass from Campbell, and Mang had the second interception. And here's Chalbay again. They're going to try this again. They've got MacArthur behind him. And they gave it to the man sent in motion, and he just absolutely ran over 2 tacklers in a row. The second victim for Gallatin was Billy Brown, who's still trying to work his way to his feet and is now trying to work on his helmet to make sure he still has feeling up there. That was Austin Chaplin, who had run for 29 yards coming into the second half. And that's 19 more for him. So 1st and 10, just short of midfield for the Golden Bears. Man in motion again, and this time it is MacArthur that gets the carry, gets it across midfield, stays on his feet twice. Actually, and he is still on his feet. My goodness, folks. Gets it down to the 30-yard line. 22-yard gain for MacArthur, who just keeps racking up the yardage for the Golden Bears. So add 22 to his 119. He now has 141. And a touch. So 1st and 10 on the 30. 10:55 to play in the third quarter. And a pitch back to Caleb Hopkins. And Hopkins, again, there is something going on with these running backs and their blockers just pushing them down the field. That another huge gashing run. This one out to the right side. That's a gain of 21 for Caleb Hopkins. So ball on the 9. And they're going to huddle up and talk about it here for just a moment. Here's Chalbe. Faked the first give, then gave it to the same guy, and that is Chaplin, I believe. And Chaplin may have lost the football. Did he get down before? Gallatin crowd says no, and so do the officials. Big time play in this game. Turnover that Gallatin absolutely had to have comes at a crucial time. Ball sort of in the shadow of their own end zone. It was number 32. 42, that is. Tyler Butler recovered the fumble. So he's basically standing on the 1-yard line is Morgan Campbell, and Campbell's going to keep it himself, try to get himself out of the shadow of zone goalposts, and breaks this one out across the 10, almost to the 11, probably a gain of about 4 on the design keeper. And Mike Strassinger, our analyst, is actually doing camera here for us at this point. So he's placed the headset down to help give you guys better views of what's going on the field, and he's doing an excellent job of that, and we really appreciate it. It's been one of those kind of nights, folks. But the good thing is it's also a night for high school football, and it's that turnover may have ignited Gallatin if that decleating hit on the initial kickoff didn't. But again, I have to ask why in the world you catch a kick that close to the sidelines and allow yourself to be concussed, because that's basically what that was. Nothing illegal about it. It was just an unbelievable shot. Here is DeBow. DeBow got the ball inside the goal line and gets it out to about the 5. So probably about a 2-yard gain. They're going to say the 6. So I'll probably move it 3 or 4 yards. When Campbell's in shotgun, he is really in shotgun. A lot of space between him and the line. He's got Caleb Robb right next to him on the left. This time he's going to keep it as Campbell. He throws it out to the left to the flat. That's number 12 on the reception, Marcus Williams. And Williams gets out to about the 10-yard line. And that'll bring up 3rd and about 6, maybe 7. A long 6, we'll say. Now, I was going to try to use the jerseys to help call these names. And that is not going to help us for Gallatin, unless I want to call everybody Gallatin. It's Gallatin on the back of all these jerseys. So Campbell, this time empty, 3rd and 6. Everybody split out wide. And he throws another rainbow ball, and Rainbow's about 4 yards too far for his intended target, Clint Shipp, number 83. Shipp looks like he's got some speed, but he doesn't have that much speed. So the moonshot, all for naught. And that brings up 4th and 6, and an obvious punting situation for the Green Wave. You've seen stranger in football, but I don't expect anything other than a punt. Now Juliet has their receiver stationed on the 40 to return this kick. That's number 21, Michael Lewis. And Lewis thought about picking that up and then thought better of it. Backs off it. Allows Gallatin to down it at the 48-yard line. Still on their side of the field, and that is where Chalbe will come out to take over. McCatherine in the backfield. That's Chappell coming across, and he's the one that gets the pitch. Gets by the first man, gets by the second, third, fourth, and fifth, and gets dropped on the 35-yard line after a gain of 17 on first down. Actually, they're going to put him on the 26 or 27, that is. So a gain of 15. Chaplin on that carry. Keep calling him Chapel. My apologies. And there he is again. No, that's Hopkins this time. 5 and 9 look a lot alike. Gets to about the 21-yard line, gain of 6. And he gets out of bounds and stops the clock. 7:42 to play in the third quarter. Second and 3 on the 20 for Mount Juliet. And this time it's McCathern. First time he's touched the ball on this drive, and he gets inside the 20, taken down about the 18-yard line. Smith finally trails him and gets him to the ground. And a penalty is going to back him up, and I think it's a hold. Usually is in that situation. That's going to bounce him 10 yards back from the end of that run. There's 10 yards from the snap, so they're going to put it on 30. So second long, second and 13. Gallatin Crown chanting, "Let's go defense." Graham, the rightmost receiver, but he's still tight to the formation. So this is a run to the strong side with a lot of blocking, and it's Chaplin, and Chaplin just shoved aside Darian Banks, who was coming across to try to make the play, and Chaplin goes in for a 30-yard touchdown score. So we've seen more of Chaplin in the second half than we have McCathern. McCathern doing a lot of damage in the first, but that's Chaplin's second rushing touchdown of this game. And a good run, but a nice formation there as all the receivers were tight to the line, and it made it a nice, easy, cozy hole out to the right. And once Chaplin was able to go north and south, nobody was going to stop him. And this game's now 21-0. We're going to take a quick break. Be back. 6:52 to play, third quarter. 21-0. Mount Juliet leads Gallatin here on PlayOnSports.com, TSSAA Network.com. And we're back. This time it is Darian Banks that's deep. DeBow and Jordan Harper about 10 yards in front of him. We'll see if this one, if Banks can do some damage here on this return. And there's Jenkins' kick, and Banks watches this one go out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So we'll start on the 20. And if you want to start with Play on Sports, remember to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We're going to give you news and information there, as well as links to fantastic highlights, especially those being shot by our own Mike Strassinger here tonight. Follow us at Play on Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games at YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports. We are playonsports.com. So Gallatin down 3 scores, and Morgan Campbell starts this drive where we've seen him most of the night in the gun. Caleb Robb was to his right, and he tried to throw to Banks and underthrew him, and Banks was not able to get back to the football. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. Remember, folks, a lot of action. Over 100 games tonight being broadcast by Play On Sports for you. Several here in the state, thanks to TSSAA. And they're all archived. So if you ever want to see one and you're out at the field, you can come back home and watch it all over again. Under center is Campbell, and Campbell hands it to Robb, and Robb is tackled immediately by Chris Beeson. 6'1" senior on the D-line, just wrapped him up as soon as he got the pigskin and dropped him. For a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 3rd and 11. So another 3rd down for Gallatin. Let's see what they can do this time. Campbell's got Robb offset out to him to the left side, and he's going to send Marcus Williams across, but he's going to try to throw to Banks, and that was a throw that had no chance, even if it was caught, of doing any damage, but was really not in a position for Banks to make a play on it. That brings up 4th and long in a situation where you're down 3 touchdowns. You want to go for these plays, but you obviously can't on the 19, so we're going to see another punt from Hayden Puryear. And Michael Lewis again back just above the halo of the G logo at midfield. Stands on the 48 to receive this kick. And that is a low bullet punt. Fielded on the 48 by Lewis, and Lewis tries to stiff arm. He tried to stiff arm Corey DeBow. Thought he might have gotten a piece of his face mask, but DeBow held on and allowed another green shirt to get there to help make that stop. So gain of about 10 on the return. And Chalbay will start this drive on the 38-yard line. On the favorable side of the field if you're a Golden Bears fan. It's McCathern in the backfield. Chalbay keeps it. Avoids the rush the first time, but he's going to be sacked by the trailing man, the linebacker Lance League. So he avoided the rush from behind, but he was not able to avoid League, and he was a little slow to get up, and he's a little slow to walk to the sidelines right now. Yeah, he got rocked a little bit right there. Son, that's what we do in football. We get hit. Looks like the kid's going to shake it off. And he'll be under center with McCathern behind him again. But this time it is Chaplin, and Chaplin again from that same position where he was able to make serious damage to that 30-yard touchdown run before. On 2nd and 15, gets a good chunk of it right there. He's going to leave himself with a very manageable 3rd and 4, so 11 yards on that run from Chaplin. So just in this half, 56 yards on 3 carries for Chaplin and a touchdown. Is that any good, folks? Faked it to Hopkins, did Chalbay, who runs, and he runs down the sidelines, and I thought he was going to score. Everybody did, except for Marcus Williams, who trips him up by the ankle inside the 5. Let's see where they mark it officially, but Chalbay right there showed some wheels, got to the 2nd level on the right side, was able to make the first guy miss and gets inside the 5, or maybe right on the 5. They're going to put it on the 5. 1st and 5, 1st and goal. 4:05 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Now Juliet leads 21-0 and are threatening more punishment. This time it's McCatherine, and he's going to stroll in easily to the right side for his second touchdown of the game. That one a 5-yard scamper. And it's 27-0 here on senior night at Gallatin High School, but the home team is not the one that's going to be celebrating, at least at this point. Jenkins to kick. And then after the extra point, that one was trailing a little bit to the left as well. Gets it through. 28-0. Mount Juliet leads the Gallatin Green Wave here at Calvin Short Field. We're going to take a break. Be back with more here on PlayOnSports.com and TSSAANetwork.com. Folks, do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? We know you do, so tell your school to sign up for the Play on Sports School broadcast program. That program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web, and that's not just football. It includes basketball, volleyball, and everything, so let them know. For more information, all you got to do is head to playonsports.com/SBP. So the 4-1 Golden Bears looking pretty close to a 5-1 team, but still some business to be taken care of, and we'll see what Gallatin can do here. They're going to take the ball off the foot of Jenkins, and it's Banks again deep, and this one pretty much exactly the same divot that the last kick made as it rolls down the hill back off the backside of this end zone. So we'll start it on the 20 again. And it has been a tough night for Morgan Campbell. 2 interceptions, and just hasn't seemed to have the touch on the throws, and his receivers just haven't been able to get separation deeper down the field to give him any throwing lanes. Mount Juliet, on the other hand, playing some really solid defense out here. So here's Campbell. He's going to hand it to Banks. Banks gets over to the right. Made a good move to get to the corner. Leaps the tackler to get extra yardage. And gets that thing out to about the 33. I believe that was Michael Lewis that made that tackle. Yeah, Michael Lewis, who's been returning kicks tonight, plays good special teams for Mount Juliet. He's the one that was leapt over, but of course that was enough to take him down after he landed, but not before the chains got moved. This time Campbell's got all day to throw, but still nobody open, and he's going to run out of bounds for a loss. That's been the story of Gallatin tonight right there. The few times that Campbell has been able to get time to throw, his receivers just have not been able to get enough green in front of him to make him think the risk is worth it to air the ball. But the clock stops as he goes out of bounds, so 3:09 to play here in the third quarter. 28-0, Mount Juliet leads this football game. Campbell's going to go under center this time. He's got Rob behind him, as well as Darian Banks. And it's Banks. And Banks gets tackled at about the 34. And that's Race Spencer who brings him to the ground. 5'10", 240-pound junior playing for the Golden Bears. So another 3rd and long, this time 3rd and 9, 2 backs. Fakes it to Banks. He's going to throw. And that was 7 yards past. It was, I guess it was intended for Franklin, but I'm not sure it was intended for anybody. That's going to bring up 4th and 9, and again, not in a situation on the field where they can afford to go for it on 4th down, so they're going to punt. It's just been an ugly night offensively, folks. It's just nights when things just aren't working, and that's what we've seen, at least to this point in this game. And the reason you're seeing it is because of the adept hands of one Mike Strassinger. He's handling business here tonight. Punt. Almost rugby style, kind of moved to the right, and that's probably the best punt by far we've seen all night, and that thing's going to roll inside the 15, maybe to the 14-yard line. So a nice punt right there, and they went offset and went kind of with a rugby style punt where he took a few steps to his right to make sure that rush wasn't going to get to him, and got really good air under it, and got a Gallatin roll. So if they want to add more points to this, at least if they want to add 6, it's going to take 88 yards. They'll start on the 12.